Hello and welcome to Wildlife Cam. I'm not sure if it didn't taste good or it just missed it, but the insect did escape. It's been a week of frustration trying to get the waterhole camera dry. I took it out a few times when I thought it was dry and then it would fog up again, so I only got it working yesterday morning. And once it was up, I realized that the SD card had been damaged. Not directly from the water, I think it was just because the camera kept resetting itself and the SD card didn't like it, but it's up and running now. The golden tail of the golden-tailed woodpecker isn't distinctive. Several of the others also have it, but I guess they just didn't know what to call it. It's been trying to rain this week. We've had a little bit of drizzle and then we nearly had a thunderstorm. But we still haven't had any decent rain that's going to get the bush green. Finally caught an animal other than myself on the trail camera's new position. I'm going to give it another week or two. The zebras have been coming back in dribs and drabs, which is nice to see. And this little herd had 2 babies. After finishing the elephant, the lions moved back down towards the river where they killed a male kudu. So they're doing very well for themselves, and the animals on this side are enjoying some peace and quiet. Doves are such gentle, dopey creatures. And this is the leader of the little gang of elephants that's been causing so much chaos on this reserve recently, although they do seem to have been a bit quieter over the last week. And the same guy that killed an elephant, I think last year, I don't know if it was the same one that killed the elephant a few weeks ago, but he killed an elephant last year down at the river. He's quite menacing. because he doesn't have any fear of humans. He's learned now that when the push comes to the shove and he's aggressive enough, no matter what humans are doing, no matter how much they're shouting and throwing things, eventually they'll turn and run. Whereas the younger elephants, they are much easier to intimidate. So this guy just stands and stares at you. Now you can see the wires across his face there. That's the elephant fence. Other animals can get underneath it. And if he really wanted to, he could have broken it, but he was quite careful, luckily. Those leaves look like they're nice and tasty, but he wasn't interested in the leaves. He was only chewing the bark off the branches. Whatever frightened these impalas didn't appear on camera, unfortunately. And finally the waterhole camera up and running again. A tiny elephant on the far left of the screen. I'm sure it's only a few weeks old, but it has an injury on one of its feet. Now, I'm not sure if it's an internal injury or a birth defect, but it is managing with difficulty to keep up with the rest of the herd. When animals are injured due to some sort of human involvement, like wire snares, then normally people will come out and anesthetize it and take off the snare, but when it's something like this, an internal injury or birth defect, then they normally just leave it, let nature take its course. It does have a reasonable chance of surviving, I think, because elephants are so protective over their young. And the next morning they were back again. A little bit misty out there, tiny bit of drizzle, but barely even enough to wet the sand. Thanks for watching.